I'm Argyle Alligator, and I'm here to help you decide if Star Wars Battlefront is the game for you. Battlefront at its core is a game to give you that authentic Star Wars cinematic experience, and it does that very well. However, this game is designed for any Star Wars fan to just jump into iconic and dramatic Star Wars battles, which means that it's designed for a playstyle that anyone can just pick up and go. Battlefront features 9 game modes, co-op player modes, single player modes, an unlock system that is 2-layered, which means you have to get to the requisite level to unlock the item and then pay for it with credits to equip it. They have 11 weapons and then a bunch of character customization. Although the character customization for the most part is maybe a set number of character archetypes that vary hairstyles, games of this nature usually don't have this much personalized customization, so it's always nice to see a little flair in this side of things. Battlefront is a combat game, and I specifically don't call it a first-person shooter because the game can seamlessly transition between first-person and third-person mode at the player's preference, and both modes work perfectly fine. The game also goes back and forth between on-foot and vehicular combat throughout the game, and there's even game modes that are tailored towards more vehicular combat, like squadron battles. The game also takes popular and familiar game modes like Capture the Flag and Deathmatch and puts a little bit of a spin on them with power-ups and different angles that the game modes interact with. For example, Cargo mode is like a Capture the Flag, but you don't need your flag at the home base to capture it. It involves a tug of war where players are running cargo back and forth between the match until somebody has the most amount of cargo at the end of the round. Things like this, for example, are just how Battlefront takes these familiar game modes and spins them into these really fun competitive styles. Now, I'm not going to get too much in between the differences of Battlefield and Battlefront, but I'm going to tell you as someone who's played a lot of Battlefield in their life, this game is very different from Battlefield. Battlefront stands alone and defines itself as a totally different game. Yes, there's still shooters, yes, it's on a large scale, yes, there's vehicles, but if those were the only comparisons, there would be so many games that you could go, oh, that's a Battlefield clone, or oh, that's a Battlefield game. Let me just say that this game definitely defines itself away from Battlefield, and I know a lot of people had that fear that this would just be a reskinned Battlefield. In my opinion, it doesn't feel that way, and that's all I'm going to leave it at and not get too far, because this isn't a comparison video, it's helping you decide if this is the game for you. Now to the pros and cons. For the pros of Battlefront, I feel this game plays very well. The shooting is really great, the movement's awesome, the jumping, when you get jetpacks in play, it's fun to use the power-ups, all the guns are pretty awesome and they're very iconic to the original Star Wars trilogy. I feel the game runs very well, it's very optimized, and this game is, I've said it before, but it is cinematic as fuck. There's no greater feeling than running through Walker Assault and trying to shoot down an AT-AT while you've got ATSTs on your back, rockets are going everywhere, heroes are in the fight, you got Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Boba Fett, Han Solo, Leia, they're all just blasting, fighting, lasers are going everywhere, or you're in a squadron battle and there's AI fighters all over and you got to take out the enemy transport with your wingman by your side. It is so much fun, and it's awesome with friends. The co-op survivals can be very challenging. You can have one-on-one hero battles with your friends. The partner system's great in multiplayer. A lot of it is done very well, and I feel like the game is very fun to play. Now to the cons. This game is very casual, and hardcore players might feel limited. The thing about this game is there is a lot of equalizer powers, and what I mean when I say that is there's a lot of powers that you can use in your star cards or vehicle pickups that you can just kill players very, very, very quickly and end their streaks. So hardcore players might feel limited because there is a bit of a skill cap with the way that things work, and that there are a lot of cheesy kind of guns and powers that people can abuse to get to the top of the leaderboards. There are some bugs also in the game, which is disconcerting for a finished product. I was playing a Walker Assault on Sullust, and it seemed like the Rebels had the max amount of Y-Wings that you could possibly get. I don't know if they actually had this amount or it was a visual bug, but the fact of there still being bugs in a finished product is a little bit disconcerting for some people. Now, the biggest problem I see with Battlefront is the longevity of this game. Will this game be relevant or even fun if you play it all the time, maybe a month from now, 2 months, 6 months, a year? I don't really know. With fully multiplayer games, it's really hard to tell. And right now, with them only having 11 weapons, I see that maybe getting a little bit stale. I know that in futuristic games that are shooters, it's hard, it seems, for the developers to come up with a lot of weapons. Like, Titanfall had 10 primary weapons for the entire game, and you could get most of them before hitting max rank. So it's just, it's things like that I don't really know if in the long run it's gonna play out well. The same with that cinematic feel might die off, maybe if you've played 50 to 100 Walker Assault matches. So it can all vary. I don't know if this game has enough of a lifeline to it, is the biggest problem I see with Battlefront, so I'm not really sure how this game's going to play out. They really need to add something substantial in further updates and expansions. Now, is Battlefront worth $60? I don't think most games that come out nowadays are worth $60 unless there's some kind of single-player game that's very deep and has 100 or so hours of content. Because $60 is a lot of money, and I really don't think that it is worth $60. I feel like Battlefront's maybe worth a little more of 40 or 30, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't get it. If you're a huge Star Wars fan, I think this game is for you. And if you like shooters, but you feel they're a little too hardcore for you, or that the skill cap in players is way too high for you to catch up, Battlefront's probably a game for you to play. I think Battlefront, for anyone at any skill level, can have a good time in this game, because there's so much going on during a battle that it's really hard for people to go like 50-1 and just annihilate. It does happen, don't get me wrong, but Battlefront kind of levels the playing field a bit more with all the different weapons and power-ups and vehicles and heroes that are going on in a map. So if you like Star Wars and you like these casual kind of shooters, I think Battlefront is the game for you regardless of the price. If you're on the fence about it and say, I really want to play Battlefront, but I don't want to spend the money, and you hold your wallet really close to your heart, I think you should probably wait till a sale, till it drops maybe $10 or $20, or find it on a website that's a bit cheaper. Now, is Battlefront the game for you? For me, it is. I have a great time with Battlefront. It's really fun for me. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I like the casualness that I can just jump in, play a couple crazy game modes, play some Fighter Squadron, play some Drop Pod, play whatever, jump in and out with my friends as my partner, pretend we're like freaking X-Wing pilots and say, Red Leader going in, and just crazy, stupid shit like that. Battlefront's fun for me, so I'm having a good time with it. If you're worried about the price and you're really not that into the style of this game, you probably shouldn't play it, or maybe wait for a sale. If you're a huge Star Wars fan, go ahead and pick this up. I hope this was helpful. I'm Argyle Alligator, and I'll see you next time. Go ahead and subscribe if you liked the video. And if you really like this one, you should watch all the rest of my other videos. I've got all these different social media outlets that I use occasionally. You can follow them if you want to get in contact with me. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you next time.